What is up, folks? Does this guy look familiar to you? This guy named Jin. You might have noticed him from Tekken, another video game character, one of the most popular, paved the way. If you like fighting games, you know about this guy. Like he's one of those legendary people to where you gotta know who he is if you love fighting games, right? Jin. He's from Tekken, one of the most famous fighting game sagas ever. He's one of those characters where, of course, he have anime-ish elements. He's from Japan, of course, a video game character. He's technically a human, but he has this thing called the Devil Gene. He's the champion of the third and the fifth king of the Iron Fist tournament. It's because of the verse he's in. You know, fighting games always try to have an excuse to have tournaments. Tekken is no exception to this. I mean, Tekken itself is a universe where it's basically it's a 3D fighting game type of thing. It goes from Tekken from 1994 all the way to Tekken 7 2015 with an even newer Tekken coming out soon. They even have a Tekken Tag series and stuff like that. 1999 and the one in 2011. It contains a verse of a lot of superhuman characters, so don't be surprised if I bring up battle feats and bringing up how important those battle feats are to determine how strong Jin is as well. I mean, let's be honest, this is considered one of the greatest fighting games of all time. You can't call yourself a fighting game guru if you haven't played Tekken. It's got a pretty simple plot because it is a video game, it's not a movie. It's a fighting game series that follows the events of King of the Iron Fist tournament hosted by Mushama, where players control a plethora of characters to win the tournament and gain control of the company. Jin has some pretty interesting genetics. For one, I gotta go over the elephant in the room. Like I said before, he's a human technically, but he has this thing called the Devil Gene passed down to him from his family members and things like that in the verse. Like, for example, this is how his base form looks. Obviously, it looks normal, but don't give it a twist. Just because this is base form doesn't mean he isn't a powerhouse still in this form, regardless, especially his attack power mixed with his raw fighting skills on top of it. You got the devil mode, of course, got to be edgy. And believe it or not, he even has a true devil mode, which is all these forms are just like power stackers. So whatever his base form can do, these are just leagues better than that, right? So basically in this video, every time I mention a feat of base Jin doing something like his base form, just know that these can do those but better. Whatever speed feats I show, these are faster. Whatever strength feats I show, these are stronger. That type of thing. Whatever Jin can do in base, these forms can do better. He actually has a decently long list of abilities like superhuman physical attributes, obviously, acrobatics, obviously, master martial artist, electricity manipulation, paralysis inducement. He even has chi manipulation to enhance his strength or attacks, energy projection, like firing laser beams, you know, supposedly in his devil forms, aura, kind of some form of force field creation, soul absorption, telekinesis. Like, yeah, he's pretty freaking deadly just overall. He's the grandson of Heihachi. This whole family is just a beast. You'll see in the future. And the son of Kazuya. You know Kazuya, right? Yeah, this family right here is just a force to be rivaled with. Like, just, you know, Kazuya, Heihachi, and you know, just in general. He actually took over the company and used it to control most of the world. Like, he has a large force at his command and all this cool stuff. Love the icy background. Like, he's a businessman, right? Salute. They listen to his will. Yeah, Jin. What if I told you he can utilize his devil power or something like that without even transforming completely? Now, that's an awesome perk. Like, legit. Like, for example, you can see like a little aura right here. Like that, as you can see, even without all the way transforming, that's absolutely epic. And that is very painful to look at. Ouchie. Think of it like Iron Fist, like he can channel it to like in his power to increase his like normal punches, even though his normal punches without any enhancements are still superhuman, but he can enhance it with his little devil gene stuff. That's the benefit of it, the benefit of the perk in gameplay. No, I'm not using gameplay mechanics. This is just showing how he fights and what are some of the techniques he can use. I'm not using stuff like health bars and the damage you see on screen, right? And it's good that this game has a lot of cutscenes because you get to really see what the writer intent is. Like when they hit each other, they create shockwaves. Like look what it does, like big old shockwaves like that. Heihachi and stuff. Another occasion using this aura, knocking people back with it, like boom, get off me. These guys are definitely superhuman. I mean, for Pete's sake, when he kicked him, it actually went through this big old wooden pillar. Like legit in this movie, he punches Heihachi this hard, it goes through like a stone wall, just give you little small increments of their power, and he keeps on going, that's how hard he goes. Like, ouch. During the gameplay, you can get an idea of how they fight, like, you know, little weird holes like this, little strange slams like that in the lore of his fighting skills. Lifting the man in the air to him is just nothing. It's light work to him, duh. Another occasion to fight him causing shockwaves. Superhuman, like, you see Kazuya. Like, look at the shockwaves they're causing with this. Boom, look at that. That's how much power. It could also be a speed feat too. They could be their fist moving fast, causing waves of, kinetic energy or something, right? Obviously, he has his fighting style from his fam, right? The Mashama fighting style. Thanks to his father, Kazuya, Jin over there to the right, and then Hachi on the way to the left of Kazuya in this picture. Thanks to them, the fighting style. But he was kind of on some rebellion type stuff and said, let me unlearn that and kind of separate myself from them and like kind of stick with karate. Yeah, because let me rebel. Like, for example, here in the lore, you can see of him learning a traditional fighting style right here. Thanks to the dojo master's training, it states, Jin unlearned the Mashama's Ryu fighting style and mastered the art of traditional karate. Might I add, he's really good at motorcycle riding because you can't be a video game anime-ish type of character and not have this attribute, a part of yourself, right? As you can see, epic dodge stuff, combat speed, and etc. Just skilled in that way. You get an idea of his fighting style with gameplay, as you can see. Like, look at the combos. Just looks very flashy. In this occasion, it's like a 10-hit combo. So just enjoy that. Boom, 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 boom. Gotta love it. Can we just express how these look? Like, it just looks good. Like, how do you choreograph that goes smooth together? It's called the Kazama style 5-hit combo. Boom, 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 boom. He specializes in fighting that's meant to kind of fake you out. Like this attack it's extremely hard to choreograph. It's called the double thrust low trick kick. Like, it's just meant to just throw you off guard. Like, what? It's like a quick feint into a leg sweep. I mean, it's pretty obvious. He's pretty comparable in power to his father and his grandfather in power right here. Just three-way battle right here. Just obvious, right? So whatever they can do when it comes to raw strength and stuff, that should technically apply to him, right? Can't we agree on that, right? Like literally a three-way battle. Epicness, right? They can definitely all hold their own. You got an idea of that stuff, right? Well, I'm not quite done yet. Let's see what he can do amplified to his true self. The Devil Jin mode. Even though he can use some of these devil modes in his base form, when he goes into the actual true mode, it's like anything the Baz mode can do, this can do better. Plus, it kind of adds some new abilities, I would say, consistently. For example, he even gets a third eye. He even gets the ability to shoot energy blasts from this eye, and he can kind of float because of these wings. As you can see, the Hellfire Blast coming from gameplay. Yeah, epicness. And he can even do it while grappling, just like mid-air laser. Can keep his distance from an opponent, like flying around them and shoot you from far away. He wouldn't be a video game character without juggling you in the air with lasers. Combo, laser. You got to get an idea. Like, you see this, the lasers go through several buildings. Like, just give you an idea of the power of the lasers, right? Yet another occasion. Yeah, you see how the laser does all of that. Blast cuts a building in two in one of his battles in the movie. As you can see, like, their blast is kind of got some little bit of collateral impact to it. Just check out this large hell blast, right? You see that? It beams up like that. Remember how I mentioned earlier that he has electricity manipulation? He's like a little electric, a little shock, like the lightning uppercut, like little red aura lightning. I was just making that stuff up. Can literally charge energy in his fist and then unleash it all at once. Kind of similar to kids like Tsunade from Naruto, I would say, right? Like, ooh, boom. So you thought I was playing when I said telekinesis. Like, in this occasion, it looks like he literally is doing like some Darth Vader type stuff, like in devil form. Like, yeah, just crazy. Then you got the occasion where he destroys this motorcycle. It looks like that was telekinesis. I didn't see no energy blast come from it. So yeah, he's powerful. Even able to do this to Hachi. Old men in anime type stuff always have to be a beast, right? See that? There it is. Does this to Hachi through the wall. Like, yeah, old Tekken games. Wings, devil mode on deck. His devil mode really makes him seem like he's not really that human because he can survive like, what, in space or in the upper atmosphere? There can't be no oxygen here. It doesn't really seem to bother him either. There's been a few occasions of his speed being able to cover some pretty decent speed while mid-conversation, like just like speed like that. Like, you see that distance right here? You can see him like zoom. Like right there, that close. Gotta love the speed, devil mode. Can we just appreciate the speed, like while he's flying? The maneuverability makes him even harder. He can already fly, shoot laser beams, but can react to those laser beams, if I might add. But yeah, he has this maneuverability on top of it. What if I told you he kind of changed his fighting style up in the devil mode, like this little 10-hit combo here? Just kind of looks very flashy, and you wouldn't think somebody with this much evilness, savageness about him would actually retain fighting art skills, right? You get another idea of his fighting art, like the way he moves right here. Just plenty of kicks, fake out kicks, juggles, uppercuts. Seems like he still has electricity manipulation and all that stuff. Laser beams, fly around you, keep you on your toes, that type of thing. Does stuff like grab the opponent, flying him down, slam you. The normal stuff, right? Demonish mode. It's crazy, but I'm just scratching the surface on how strong these Tekken characters are. You're probably wondering, how strong does this make them? you say, right? There's a couple beings in this verse that you have to consider when it comes to power. You already know he's comparable to characters like Kazuya in his devil form, no matter what, really. Base form is comparable to the base Kazuya and all that stuff. Same with Heihachi and stuff. They're all comparable. Even if some have gaps between each other, the gaps aren't astronomical. They all fight each other. They all can hang in there. They're not fleas in comparison compared to each other, right? So there are characters in the verse that are like Paul from Tekken are important, and beings like Gun Jack. You can get an idea of how strong he is based on some of the characters in the verse that might have flashy feats where Jin might be lacking. Like every character isn't going to get the same flashy feat, but one character might, but then the other character might rival that character. So therefore they should be able to do similar when it comes to, if it's a straightforward cookie cut process. Like if he does this with strength and then Jin can rival him in strength or should be strong in attack power, then he should be able to do the same, right? You know, I hope I'm not getting too confusing. In Tekken 3, you get an idea of the characters in this versus power levels where Jack Gun in Tekken 3, you get to see some attack potency, and this has been calculated. Jack Gun was able to produce a shield that was strong enough to block an attack from a laser that had that much power. This was calculated to be in the city shattering levels, right? And if he can do this, you know, other characters in this verse should have combat better than this, because it's not like he's the strongest being in this whole universe, right? Let's all remember that Paul was able to take on True Ogre in one of the endings of the old games. Not to mention that Jin himself has fought Ogre in the Tekken Tag tournament. Some say this is not canon, some say it is canon. I'm just going to add it into the feat run as well. I don't see why he couldn't be able to beat this character based on the lore of the verse so far, though, you know what I mean? Not to mention, you know, devil mode and all that good stuff. Not to mention that Jin rivals us, Paul. Talking about Ogre again. Jin actually killed the final boss Ogre, but then was attacked by Heihachi, you know, so yeah, he can handle his own. When it comes to fighting speed, it's pretty evident that these guys can move massively faster than the eye can see, but implications that they could be light speed when it comes to fighting speed, especially with the laser speed. I mean, when it comes to Jin, he go in his devil mode using lasers. He can evidently fight at that speed. He should be able to combat at that speed if he fights people similar to him in his devil form. Things like that, right?
Jin Kazama. So che il suo demone interiore.
As you can see the cell, it's deep into the lore, Jin Kazama. I heard that the devil inside him surpasses even that of Kazuya. So what I did say about him fighting Kazuya, whatever the Kazuya could do, is evidently implied that Jin can at least equal, or do better, because they have similar modes, similar power sets, and stuff like that, right? It's fair enough, right? Then there's this guy named Jinpachi. Characters like Jinpachi in the verse is really what shows how strong these characters in this verse are. I mean, Jin fought this guy along, you know, Jin fought Kazuya, his dad, plenty of times as well, and defeated him. Says he wants to destroy all of existence, but how is he going to do that? I wonder. He might actually be Continental. He stated multiple times he wanted to eliminate the existence of mankind.
Mankind will be exterminated if he is fully awakened.
Are they like planetary? Like surface shattering levels? Like...
You're kidding. He's not even human. He was Heihachi's father.
Another occasion of him saying it. What he's doing to the world. Yet another occasion saying he's going to end humanity. How many times is he going to say this before the statement actually has meaning, guys? Jinpachi's mind is consumed by the devil as he reaches his final transformation. The world will never be the same. Just showed you all them statements about Jinpachi and Devil Jin. It seems to be canon to the lore because there's like a full-blown cutscene with it and everything. Yeah, showing that Jin is too much for him. yeah, just check out that Shockwave for yourself. Definitely think they're in the Continental ranges of power at this point. As characters are concerned, when it comes to feats, I do believe whatever Kazu can do, Jin can basically do. Like, they're kind of like a clone of each other, if I'm being honest, when it comes to the lore, the abilities they can do and stuff like that, both having devil modes and stuff like that, right? Remember that Jack robot I brought up earlier? You know, these little robots, they get upgrades throughout the years, like these robots right here. I already showed you a being in this verse that already stated that he could end the world or end humanity or something. One could say that could be surface level implication, right? But we actually got a flashy feat from a robot like this. This is not even a god tier of the verse, guys. And there was a giant meteor 6 miles in diameter. Like, a lower tier did this, guys. Like, Jack, yeah, was heading towards Earth with attack power. It was able to do this.
An asteroid 6 miles in diameter is on a crash course with Earth. The damage caused by the impact is expected to be devastating.
So authorities have declared a state of emergency and will be taking measures to minimize casualties. All residents located near the estimated point today night are ordered to evacuate immediately.
Yeah, that's a country level feat for him to do that to the asteroid. That's not enough for you, you ask? Well, there's a lot of impressive things stretched out throughout the verse that a lot of characters in Tekken have done. Like, not just like the characters showing them to do. Like I say in my other videos, it's important to understand how strong the verse is in total, the opponents the characters fight, and you get an idea of how strong a character is by the lower tiers and stuff like that. I might show characters that are not necessarily the guy I'm analyzing in this video, but it's still important for the video. It's kind of like this. If this guy can do this, then Kazuya or Jin can do better because they're the god tiers of the verse. If these lower tiers can do this, then the god tiers can do better, right? Unless there was some type of hacks that was involved. And as you can see, it wasn't no hacks involved. It was just straight up raw attack power in that video, right? In that clip. So, with that being said, characters like Paul can do this, by the way. You know, just casual work stuff. Lower tiers like Brian are unfazed by bullets. And missiles can do this.
20 years ago, Kazuya lost to Heihachi and was thrown into the mouth of a volcano.
I'm pretty sure you guys believe me about characters like Kazuya and Jin being above those little Jack robots, right? Well, just in case you were skeptical. Look how big that explosion was.
Heihachi Mishima is dead. You died in that explosion. Mishima wa humitsu.
Pretty much confirmed he did survive, so there's that. Even though I do gotta admit that those are weaker forms of Jacks, though. But, you know, as characters in this verse go by, they get strong as time goes by as well. Awesome characters like Bob can react to bullets while they're mid-flight. Yeah, he's too fast. Characters like Raven are fast enough to leave after images. All right, another feat that's not Jin. Okay, that's Kazuya. Like, you know, Jin's dad, so like whatever they can do better or similar. You know, they fought this universe's version of Akuma, which is of course Street Fighter. But I'm just gonna say this is the universe's version of Akuma because he was actually in the story mode of this game's lore. So, you know, I'm just gonna use this. Yeah, I think it's pretty accurate when it comes to dealing with their raw power. I'm not going to use the Akuma's power level from his verse. I'm going to use this version's universe version of Akuma, if that makes sense, right? It's weird to really explain this, but it's like they're almost in the same universe because is Street Fighter and Tekken the same universe? You know, that's not it. They have like dialogue in the story mode, you know. And there you have it. Yeah, these are the powers of your devil forms. That was the true devil form for Kazuya. And they even stated that Jin's devil form might be above this, which I stated earlier in the vid. Crazy, right? So at this point, yeah, you got a pretty good idea of how strong the characters in this verse are, and that means how strong Jin is, since he's one of the god tiers of this verse, especially in his devil trigger form. It kind of reminds me of Devil May Cry. But then you got the true devil form, which is like Kazuya has his full true devil form. This is how he just doesn't even look human anymore. Yeah, and these multipliers seem to be a drastic increase. Possibility that Tekken characters could actually shatter the planet if we want to be honest. They treat things like jet robots like fodder, and this thing can destroy like country leveling meteors. I'm just saying, like, we don't even really know the limitations of it. So yeah, at the very least, they're Continental level of attack power attacking people, even in their base form. And then you just multiply that, whatever the multiplier is for the devil trigger form, and then the true devil trigger form, it just gets even worse and worse on that. But if you guys want to see more of this and you want to see more Tekken stuff, let me know. Tekken is a legendary fighting game character. Their speed, I think they should be in the light speed ranges. Even the characters like Bob can dodge bullets with ease, and they're like moving in slow motion. If their base form gets stronger as time goes by. Early in their career, there are actual times where lower tier characters, like, they're still not really weak though, but has fought in Jin and gave him a run for the money. For example, in the story mode of one game, Jin in his base and Horang were like kind of on the same level. Actually, it's crazy that Horang actually could like get a legit W on Jin. See what I mean? Like, that's pretty crazy, right? But fighting Devil Jin is a different story. Let you know there's a pretty decent gap between base Jin and, you know, amped up Devil mode. Tekken characters in general just have great combos and combat just in general. I usually go over like every game's moveset, but for this video, I'm just going to go over the main game, Tekken 7's, because it's the newer one, you know what I mean, when it comes to its combos. As you can see, shockwaves behind his combos can string them together with jabs, punches, kicks, etc. Just kind of like how other fighting games can do. Jin is no exception to this. Does like moves that I showed you earlier from the previous games. Even moves from the previous game he still has. So his combos are still similar, which is why I feel like this is a good way to portray his moveset off. Give an idea of how he was to fight if, you know, you saw him in the movie or in the cutscenes and stuff like this. And crazy enough, in the Tekken movies, he actually has moves from these games in those movies, kind of showing that they are kind of paying tribute to how he fights in the actual game as well, even in the canon movies of the lore of Tekken. So hopefully that gives you some understanding of that. The movies even imply to have electricity, a little static looking stuff around it, or it could be like a game mechanic to show that you actually did land a hit, you know what I mean? Front thrust kick, double chamber punch, just epic stuff. Mid left punch to high roundhouse kick, it's like a fake out. Mid left punch to mid side kick. Just a lot of cool stuff that Jin just can do overall in general, you know what I mean? Corpse thrust. Knee popper to side kick. Right sweep. You know, everybody gotta have them sweep moves to, you know, knock you off balance till you can land even more hits. Juggle type of stuff. Launchers, even cool stuff like Savage Sword, punch to cascade kick, you know, good stuff, right? Epicness. He can change his stance like a power stance. Got little taunts. Epic, right? But I hope you guys enjoyed this presentation of Jin. Did you know he was this strong? Did you know they might be able to level the surface of the planet with these feats, like little jack robots can? So yeah, post your comments down below. Let me know what you all think. Check out those playlists so you can binge watch more stuff like this. And let me know your feedback on how you like this. Do you want to see more Tekken characters? Because fighting game characters are kind of cool, and video games in general. But this might be my one for a while, depending on how the views go. But yeah, I'll just see how that works. But I'll see you guys next time.